Hey guys, Scott here. So the other day I had this bet on preschool that was like the most ridiculous setup I've ever seen. I uploaded it to my channel actually. It was basically it had the shack, and around the shack were six separate loops that connected to two other structures on the sides of the map. It was the most busted setup I've seen in an extremely long time. And I remember saying during the match, I think this is unwinnable, guys, because it really, really did feel like an unwinnable match. But then I went back and watched it. It's not so easy to make that determination when you're playing the match, but when you go back and watch your own footage, I realized, well, actually, it wasn't really unwinnable. It was unwinnable for the way I played because I try to play killer as nice as possible. I had literally everybody perfectly on Death Hook in that match, and all I had to do was just not do that. So me saying the match was unwinnable was just straight up not true. If I played like a dick and just tunneled like one guy, then I actually could have won that. And the whole like, I played perfectly, I made no mistakes, and I still lost sort of thing. That's like the antithesis of my whole mindset on video games. Like I am very, very much against that style of belief. I always think you should try to improve yourself before you start playing in the game. But the problem is Dead by Daylight is a pretty busted game. So sometimes when you say something is unwinnable, there could be a grain of truth to it. It's not like an actual balanced game where, the only explanation if you lose is that you suck. So this is sort of like an experiment that I want to do. So I want you guys to send some games to this email address with matches you feel are unwinnable. And just for a just blanket statement right now, let's just say a win is a 3K. I know you can still pip, or you can pip up. You can still get your MMR higher with a 2K, depending on the skill of the survivors. But let's just go safe and say a 3K is a win for the killer. So I want you to guys show me a match that is unwinnable in your opinion. And the whole point of this for me is I firmly believe those matches are in the vast minority. I think it is very, very uncommon to have a match in which there is nothing. If you play perfectly, you still lose. I think that's the whole mindset I would like to try to home in on. It's for the people that believe they played a perfect match and still lose. That is what I want to look at. Because I firmly believe that if you play perfectly as killer, there are very few games that are unwinnable. There are games that are unwinnable. Don't get me wrong. I acknowledge this game is not balanced. But the whole point of this whole experiment is I would like to hopefully prove that those matches are far less common than people believe. I think truly unwinnable matches when you play perfectly as killer are extremely rare, actually. But now, whenever I say this, people kind of go, well, I mean, so why does the killer have to play perfectly? Look, when you sign up to play killer, you are your entire team. You have to just acknowledge it's going to be harder at a higher level than survivor. That's just how the game is. Even if the game was more balanced, it's still you juggling way more things than the survivors have to juggle. It's always going to be harder. There's always going to be room for more mistakes on killer. That's just how asymmetrical games are when you're playing the one side. Your mistakes are just simply weighted more. Now, that's not to say when a survivor makes a mistake that they can't be punished for it. Sometimes a single survivor's mistake can just snowball the entire game. But on average, the mistakes of killer are going to be weighted higher. And that is just, like I said, the nature of asymmetrical stuff. So I just really want to try to prove to people that even if you do make a couple of mistakes, there's probably stuff you could have done differently to do better in the match. So this is sort of like a review series, but it's more catered to people that really felt like they played as well as they could have, and the match was unwinnable. Because if you say to yourself, well, I didn't win the match, but I could have done better, we have no argument because that's a good attitude to have. If you're looking for something to improve on, and maybe if you did something better, then you would have won, that's a good attitude to have. This is for the people that say, no, I played perfectly and I still couldn't win this game. Here's proof of that. And I want to go over that proof. And I'm not saying it's impossible. The whole point is with enough of these, I would like to eventually try to prove that it is in the vast minority of games. And that's basically all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say the game's not imbalanced or anything like that, because of course it is. But I do believe people believe they play more perfectly than they actually do. And I would like to try to point out where those situations are and how maybe the game wasn't as unwinnable as you thought. So if you guys truly believe you have an unwinnable match and you played extremely well or near perfectly, then feel free to send me a video of your game to that email address right there. And yeah, I will start making videos based on these, and we will go from there. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching.